Collins Elementary was ranked #1 academically in the state this year for its SES band. And it was the only school in Broward County to receive such an award.
Collins is my school!
In our socioeconomic band, which is that 94% that's looked at statewide, we are #1 in the county and #1 in the state in our band. So that's important to us. That's a testament to what has been done here and what we are doing. And it's purposeful. I don't think it's an accident. And it can be done other places.
None of us know where the cure for cancer is coming from. None of us know where the cure for. It'll be erroneous for someone to say, I believe it'll come from Weston because someone has a higher annual salary. That's ludicrous. I absolutely do not know where the cure for cancer is. I don't know what mind is going to be used to bring that forth. Now translate back to the inner city. So it behooves us to make sure that every child has an opportunity for great education, because we have no idea where that cure is coming from. The way we better our chances in our country is to make sure that every gift that we are given that shows up in the auspices of a child, that we give each one of them the opportunity to fly, to soar, to reach their potential so they can live out their purpose. And in a small way, it's happening on this campus at this address, but in a big way, it is happening on this campus and at this address. And it's gonna be transferable. If we catch it, it'll catch fire all across the country. Give children a chance to bring out their potential, and they will live out their purpose.
No fooling around. Remember our rules. Hey, come on. Remember, I'll flag the rules. You don't pull out. That's how you get on campus.
Collins Elementary is awesome. They really look out for the kids, meaning taking a student, looking at addressing their strengths, their weaknesses, and really moving a student forward.
Ms. Swanson was almost like my second mom at the time, and she was not having me complaining about writing this prompt, and they worked really hard on me to get far. And but not only that, like everyone at Collins worked really hard to make sure that their students succeed.
I came in with the philosophy, first of all, that we could and would achieve. That's #1. That there was nothing that we could not do. That our students could do as well as any students, and I mean any, not just students in our economic and socioeconomic band, but I mean any students in Broward County that we could do as well as.
Collins is a home. It is for the teachers, it's for the faculty, the staff, and the students. We belong here. Everybody that comes to this building has a sense of belonging and has a purpose when they walk through the door and when they leave.
Mr. Pastor, from day one, from the first day that I met him, he told me that student achievement is the #1 priority. Everything that we do centers around student achievement.
Collins is my school!
Yeah, well, expectations have to really be high. And I think part of it is we expected, we put these children in the place of our children. You know, Mr. Pastor has a son, I have a son. We always had high expectations, and we wanted nothing less for these students.
When we get down to this point, where we are right now is in the end stages of our RTI process. That's our response to interventions. This is where we are dealing with students who've not made the progress that we anticipated throughout the year in the various interventions that we did provide. So this is where we make decisions as far as how to proceed next year with this student, whether or not their folder needs to go in for additional testing, or if we can continue the interventions that have been in place, that they've made some progress but not enough. So this is where we're down to the nitty-gritty of a couple of individual students. Now throughout the year, this room is used to collaborate with school-wide data, classroom data, and then individual group and individual student data. The course is navigated for each student individually, but we start with the grade level as a whole. Each class has its own destination. Students who aren't making the progress on that course need a new course. We set a group in that direction, then we get down to the individual.
The overall staff makes the difference here too, because you have teachers pitching in from all areas. For a while this year I was doing third grade pullouts. Then that was passed off to somebody else and I took 2 different math classes. Well, I had 1 math class, I took another. But you have the different teachers here all work together.
I think when you come here, you don't just find a group of professionals only, you find a group of family. It's a sense of family, it's a sense of unity. Because it's a small school, you find a family atmosphere. Everyone cares for everybody, everyone loves everyone. We come outside, we talk with each other. Some of us have each other's phone numbers. We hang out outside of the school, we talk on the phone. So it's not just a group of professional teachers that come in to do the job. It's also a chance to be a family, to have a family. And I think that's what you find at Collins. It's a family atmosphere. And you don't get that in other schools because the schools are so big.
Our kids come to us oftentimes with a lack of exposure to certain things, not having the skills that other children have because of that early exposure, a lack of vocabulary. Reading is absolutely critical to everything. It's critical to math, it's critical to science. I don't care what you're doing. If you're not a reader, again, reading as in the ability to comprehend what you've read. The first is just calling words, and then it's learning to reading with meaning and being able to comprehend. So that becomes very basic, particularly in an elementary school setting. We know that if a child leaves 3rd grade, this is what the data says, if a child leaves 3rd grade and they're not reading on grade level, when they reach 10th grade, in all probability, they still won't be on grade level. The land for this school was given primarily by most of it by the Collins family, a black family in Dania Beach, because there was no school for black children at that time. So they gave the land so this school could be built so that black children would have a place to go to school. So this school has a rich history.
I love this school because it was a community, embraced by the community. Teachers who lived in the neighborhood, so you knew your teachers not just because they were your teachers, but often because you also saw them at church. You saw them when you went to the grocery store. So it made the concept of coming to school a very warm environment.
We have moms and grandmothers and great-grandmothers, and they all came to the school. They started here, and then now to see them come back and to see their great-grandkids here. So it's a family. You walk down the street and you always know someone's name. There's no way that you're gonna walk down the street and no one's gonna know your name because we're all a family. I see them at the community Publix or the community Kmart. You see someone and, hi, you know the person's name, you know the mother's name, you know the great-grandmother's name, you know the cousin's name, you know somebody in that family when you walk by. So that's what makes a difference.
The students feel like you know them, they're a part, they feel like you care about them, you're just not a number amongst a large group of students.
You know, we each know their names, or someone knows who they're related to, or who their mom is or dad, because of the community.
Well, I feel that it's special because it's a family school, and you have great teachers here. You have teachers that work overtime, that's willing to sit and talk with you about your kid and look at the pros and the cons, and it's just a caring atmosphere here, and it's been for years.
My job was really to go out and supplement some of the things that we wanted to do in terms of meeting with partners, going to meetings, whether that be Kiwanis Club, Rotary Club, or anything where we could go and someone would be able to help us. Chamber of Commerce, we became members of the Dania Chamber of Commerce. But all of those things, you know, made it possible for us to do. My goal was to make it easy for the teachers to do what they do because we were supplying them with the funds and the things that they needed to do.
Annually, we do the back to school drive for the kids who can't maybe afford to buy new pairs of shoes. We also raise enough money to donate Target, Walmart, and Payless gift cards to help with the purchases of uniforms and just get them ready for school coming in August, September.
So the first idea we had was they were trying to set up a science center. So the first year we gave them supplies for a science center. The second year they were trying to start a band. So we helped them buy some school band instruments. And then by the third year we started helping them with the academic banquet that they now have at the end of every year.
I will now introduce our Mistress of Ceremonies. Our Mistress of Ceremonies is Miss Paris Pittman. Miss Pittman is a Collins Elementary alumni and a graduating senior at Hollandale High School. Please welcome Miss Pittman.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Collins Elementary's 10th Annual Academic Awards Banquet.
They brought in, we started with the elementary here, and then we also brought in for the teens who graduated. They came back here for our teen program. And in addition to that, the administration was asking for parenting classes too. So we were able to bring in a parenting piece.
But it's just a special school. I mean, they really make the children feel important, that they have something to offer, and that they leave here and they go on and they go into the community, they go to school, and they just do well because of the foundation that was laid here at Collins Elementary.
This is my school!
Open the door to see the first baby sitting on the sofa.
We didn't want to give up on those things that we thought played a major part in education. You know, arts, music, and all of those things. And it was, you know, we did a lot of unique things, and we're doing a lot of unique things.
So this year we decided to go ahead and contact Swim Central and have them provide swimming lessons to get the children comfortable and you know, feeling proficient to get in the water once we get down there.
Stand up! Stand up!
We have a community here at the school setting where we look at the needs of the individual child. We make sure that Johnny, using that name, Johnny has what he needs in order to get through the day. That could encompass supplies, school supplies. It could encompass having a good breakfast, but it also encompasses love, it encompasses discipline, And a lot of times when you are at a big school, you demonstrate that, you give that to kids, but you don't have that opportunity to give it to all students.
Collins is my school!
Schools have a responsibility to reach out to parents. Many parents have not had very good experiences with schools themselves. So it becomes the school's responsibility, in my opinion, to reach out to the parents and reach out to the community and to get them involved, to show them that we're here for them and for their children, and that this is in fact a partnership. It does in fact require a village.
Many are very involved. Some are less so. We have a working class population in some cases where the parents aren't necessarily able to be here at the times that they'd like. The parents who do become involved become part of that community as well.
Well, I know through the years, since my daughter been here, we work things out for my job goes, and sometimes they're willing to stay a little later to accommodate me, which is great. And then sometimes I have to make a sacrifice myself and accommodate their time. So it could work both ways.
I give them a text all the time. They text me, I text them, they call me, I call them. Sometimes they tell me, I forgot something, and don't worry about it. I'll run out, go to the nearest Kmart and go get it. Or I could even call another parent who knows that other parent comes in, drops it off for them. So it's a family. You're not gonna find that everywhere. And then that's what I love so much about not only my program, but being at Collins, is that it's a family.
I do see parents totally ecstatic regarding their students' progress here at Collins. They show up to conferences talking to the teachers about things that, kids didn't do before are doing now, such as reading at home.
I met the assistant principal after 3 years of being at that school. Well, for my daughter being there for 3 years, I met her on the day that I was unenrolling her in the school. I met Mr. Pastor the first day, well, it was her first day of school, which was really the second day of school. Out helping the kids, guiding them, talking with the kids, encouraging them. So that alone for me was different as a parent. In the course of 1 year here, like every month they're having activities with the kids. I've come to Fall Festival, Dr. Seuss Festival, Reading Festival, dance, they had a big dance. It was like for Black History Month, but just every month they have something that involves like education. They, entwine it with education and make learning fun for the kids.
And the most improved for my classes is Mr. Willie James McCray.
It's one thing to be a great student, but what really makes you stand out is when you are a great citizen. Because a great citizen will help you to understand that the world doesn't just revolve around you, it revolves around all of us making our world a better place.
Yeah, no, we don't really teach them, what they'll see in the books or just academics. A lot of us try to teach them life lessons. How to be a well-rounded person coming out of elementary school and not just elementary academics.
And the support system that you have here and the leadership that allows you to make those decisions and to make the changes in the curriculum for the student at a moment's notice. It's not, I have to put it through a committee, I have to ask this, I have to ask that. If it's in the best interest of the child, we do it.
This is the place to be if you want your child to not only have just a great education, but to come in with some type of sense of family, to come in with some type of unity and love for each other, this is where it starts. I teach the pre-K-4 program where we're developing this program. The Head Starts program has been developed a long time, but now I'm actually teaching it here, and we're doing amazing things. The kids are learning. They're eager to learn, and they're just so willing. They come in and they want to learn, they want to read, they want to have fun. And I had one of my students that came in, and the parents said, my goodness, my students at pre-K4 knows a joke. And I said, we joke all the time. What are you talking about? Why did the chicken cross the road? We joke all the time. And it's the sense of having that fun and having that love. That's what it's all about.
Collins is my school!
But I still go back to these two gentlemen, Mr. Pastor and Mr. Ford, about making it possible, only because they know what can be accomplished.
Collins Elementary has a long-standing history of nurturing principals. They nurture the school, they take care of it.
It's the administration. They not only did I see them have high expectations for the children, they had, or the school, they had high expectations for the educators in this school.
Collins Elementary is superlative because of its leadership. It is because of Lincoln Pasture, who understands the dynamic of education. And for him, it is not politicized, point blank. He understands the dynamic of education. You have to have, first of all, not simply a principal. That's a position. You need a person in that position who is actually a courageous leader. And that means that the decision that they make will not simply be the easy or political decision that just gets them through the day, or that may get them a higher position. A leader deals with all the ramifications that they would have to see on a daily basis. And they don't back away. They rise up to the challenge, and that's what Mr. Pasteur has done. Collins is now being viewed as this wonderful jewel, but it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens because the dynamic of having a good, great, courageous leader who will take the risk on educating those that are entrusted to them. And that Mr. Pasteur understood. He understands. He advocates for that. And the children are the benefactors. The families are the benefactors.
Mr. Pasteur was one of the best principals that anyone can ever have, not only as far as our leader, but just as a human being. Just as a human being, he's one of the best. And not, like I said, not because he was my principal for the 12 years I've been here. Just as an individual human being, he's one of the best.
Nationally, in this country, that self-fulfilling prophecy kind of happens because we expect less from certain communities. We expect less from certain children. We expect less from certain schools. And when you ignore those expectations and create expectations of your own because you believe and because you know that you can have success, then you're considered an outlier. This is something that should not happen. How did you make this happen? Well, first of all, we believed it. Second of all, we are passionate about what we do, and we have a sense of urgency about it. And those are things that I think we bring to the table that some others may not.
I don't know. I mean, if anything, I would say, you know, great job. You know, keep doing what you do. You know, don't change to become like so many other schools where they get so focused on tests and tests and tests and get away from actually teaching the kids and, you know, so they can progress for the future. Because I think that is the relevant difference. They're not so focused on tests. They're really teaching a kid to learn, to excel in life.
This school succeeds. It has the advantage of being small to start with. But of course, on top of that, it has the advantage of a principal who has a vision and a mission for the school. And it's because of the incentives that he's put in place for the teachers to succeed and the children to succeed that things are happening differently here. He's doing things differently and doing different things. And whatever he's doing has been successful.
This school, it should be a model school. It should be that school out there that others would model from.